Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chicago PD boss confirms emotional fallout for two of the show's best story arcs. Chicago PD has been occasionally frustrating in season 12. The show has introduced fascinating character arcs for several of its veteran presences, but the emphasis on case of the week stories has led to some of these arcs being pushed on to the back burner. There are times where the underlying feelings of the IU members are not even referenced. We do somewhat understand. There's been some excellent standalone stories in season 12, as well as a crossover event and an ongoing conflict with Chief Deputy Charlie Reed, Sean Hatosy. We are excited to what happens with the villain, but we're relieved to have confirmation that the season 12 finale will place the emphasis on character over story. Chicago PD showrunner Gwen Saigon confirmed that the May 21 finale, which is a two-parter, will not only continue the rivalry between Reed and Hank Voight, Jason Begg, but deliver on the emotional arcs that have somewhat gone by the wayside. We're thinking primarily about the wedding of Adam Ruzek, Patrick John Pfluger, and Kim Burgess, Marina Squarciati. There was a reference to the Burzek wedding the last time Burgess led a season 12 episode, Seen and Unseen, but for the most part you can comb through the show and find surprisingly very few references to the fact that two of PD's main characters are going to tie the knot. We wish there had been more attention paid to them in the lead-up, but Saigon promises the wedding will be a central focus. There's also the burgeoning potential romance between Voight and Ada Nina Chapman, Sarah Buse. Once again, we're dealing with characters who have had a great deal of screen time together, despite refusing to address the fact that Chapman voiced having feelings for Voight. Chapman grows closer to Voight in the finale, Saigon told TV Line, bringing a long sigh of relief to anybody who wants to see these two end up together. On a smaller but simultaneously important scale, the two-part finale will explore the emotional fallout of Dante Torres, Benjamin Levy Aguilar, and his season-long struggles. The character has had a difficult time coping with the death of CI Gloria Perez, Yara Martinez, and the ways in which Reed has been able to use said death to blackmail the IU. He's carrying around a lot of guilt, to the point where he is suffering from insomnia. He opened up to Voight about his struggles in the aptly titled Demons, but Gwen Saigon promised that we will see Torres makes additional strides in an effort to remain part of the IU. We'd rank it third behind the Burzek wedding and Voight/Chapman romance, but it's still something we are glad to get additional time on. The streets of Chicago have always been gritty, unpredictable, and steeped in tension. But this time it's not just about justice, it's about the heart. In a recent interview, Chicago PD showrunner Gwen Saigon confirmed what fans have long suspected. Two of the show's most beloved story arcs are heading straight into an emotional storm that will shake the intelligence unit to its very core. For years, Chicago PD has built its reputation not only on gripping police work and intense street-level action, but also on deeply human storytelling. Now, two major arcs, Haley Upton's crumbling emotional armor and Kevin Atwater's crisis of identity, are about to intertwine with consequences that promise lasting reverberations. Upton's breaking point. It's no secret that Haley Upton, Tracy Spiridakos, has been carrying the weight of too many secrets, losses, and moral compromises. From the fateful shooting of Roy Walton to her slow-burning estrangement from Jay Halstead, Upton has been spiraling. And according to Saigon, that spiral is coming to a head. We've seen Haley try to soldier through everything. She's always been the strong one, the one who internalizes, Saigon said. But you can only suppress trauma for so long before it bubbles up and demands to be dealt with. Season 11 has already planted the seeds of emotional reckoning. The absence of Halstead, her husband who remains stationed in Bolivia with the army, has taken a toll. And now, with Upton increasingly leaning into reckless police work, her colleagues are noticing the cracks. But the emotional fallout doesn't stop with her. Voight, who has always treated Upton like a surrogate daughter, is beginning to realize that his own choices may have helped push her to the edge. Voight's guilt is real, Saigon teased. He asked her to carry burdens she wasn't ready for. He sees her unraveling, and for the first time, he doesn't know if he can fix it. Saigon hinted that a pivotal episode later in the season will force Upton to confront her own sense of self, without Halstead, without the badge, without the shield she's worn for so long. And while she may emerge stronger, the process promises to be heartbreaking. Atwater's line in the sand. While Upton struggles with internal collapse, Kevin Atwater, Leroyce Hawkins, is facing a very different kind of emotional fallout, one that pits his loyalty to the badge against his identity as a black man in Chicago. Atwater's arc has always danced on the edge of systemic tension, balancing his duty as a cop with his empathy for the communities that often find themselves brutalized by the very system he upholds. But this season, that delicate balance is shattered. In a stunning twist, Atwater's undercover operation goes sideways when a confidential informant, someone he personally vouched for, is killed under mysterious circumstances. The fallout is immediate: public outrage, media scrutiny, and an internal affairs probe that paints Atwater as both a scapegoat and a symbol. It's personal, Hawkins said in a behind-the-scenes featurette. Kevin believed in this case, believed in this person, and now he's forced to answer for a system that failed again. But it's not just his professional life that's under siege. The emotional toll seeps into his personal relationships, threatening a budding romance that had offered him a rare glimpse of normalcy. And when an old friend from his past re-enters the picture, it sets off a chain reaction that forces Kevin to make the hardest decision of his life. Saigon confirmed that Atwater's story will intersect with Upton's in unexpected, emotional ways. These two characters are dealing with grief, with identity, with the weight of decisions that haunt them, she said. Their bond will deepen, but it's not necessarily a happy ending. Sometimes, emotional fallout means two people see each other clearly and realize they're walking different paths. Collateral damage. The ripples don't stop at Upton and Atwater. Voight, Jason Begg, is caught in the crossfire, forced to reckon with the legacy he's left behind. His old-school ways are no longer sustainable in a department that's evolving, and his unit is feeling the strain. Voight will face the consequences of years of looking the other way, Sagan warned. We're not talking about losing the team, but the team is changing. Even Ruzek and Burgess, who have been slowly rebuilding their relationship after trauma, find themselves affected. Ruzek, ever loyal to Atwater, starts pushing back against Voight in ways we've never seen before. Meanwhile, Burgess becomes a source of stability for Upton, but even she has her breaking point. A city on edge, Chicago is a city of fire and steel, and Chicago PD has always reflected its contradictions. But this time the fire is emotional. With two of its strongest characters teetering on the edge, the season is shaping up to be one of the most character-driven yet. And fans should be prepared. We're not just tying up loose ends, Sagan said. We're breaking them open. Whether Upton finds her peace, whether Atwater reclaims his voice, or whether the intelligence unit can survive without breaking, it's all on the line. One thing's for sure: the emotional fallout won't be quick, and it won't be clean, but it will be unforgettable.